Hey guys, Roman Reaper here. Just back with another Friday movie night episode. Yeah, it's that time of the week again. It's Friday afternoon. Now, you might have noticed that this one didn't have a vote beforehand. Well, I totally forgot to, and also because, well, the film I'm about to watch is being released from Netflix tomorrow, so I figured I'd get watching it and review it as part of Friday movie night. So today, the film I'll be reviewing is Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson, which came out back in 2018. Heard fairly mixed things about it. I heard some people enjoyed it, and some just thought it was like a totally tamed rip-off of Die Hard. Uh, yeah, I mean the trailers did look kind of generic, but probably entertaining. I don't know. And I do like Dwayne Johnson. I think he's he seems like a likable enough guy, although he does tend to do like the same sorts of roles every time. There's not really much like dramatic range, if you know what I mean. It's like the characters he plays, but should at least be somewhat fun. Uh, I'm waffling a bit here. I won't waste too much more time. Watching Skyscraper. So yeah, Skyscraper. Um, Basically the film is about Dwayne Johnson's character Will Sawyer, who used to be, used to work for the FBI, dealt with hostage situations, but an incident 10 years prior basically saw him like lose a leg, so he instead moved into security, being a security assessor, and he's given the job of assessing the security of the world's tallest building, the Pearl in China, and well, basically terrorists managed to enter the building and set it on fire. So basically, Will has to go back into the building and save his family who's in there. Now, one obvious comparison that you can make with this film is Die Hard. The plots are extremely similar, but to be honest, Die Hard did it a lot better. Like, you know, John McClane has, yes, John McClane is trying to see his family at Christmas. Yes, it is a Christmas film, by the way. Debate down below in the comments. And, he wants to, save his wife who's been taken hostage by Hans Gruber. But, we learn about him. Like, we learn that he doesn't really like flying, and, we learn about why his wife like moved to LA while he stayed back in New York. I mean, we get to see how he deals with situations. He's a very reluctant hero, whereas Will Sawyer, all we really know about him is he loves his family, and that basically he's willing to do anything to save them. Like that's about it. We don't like we never really see him like like fear or peril or anything. He never really feels like a reluctant hero, like John McClane did. He's like, he's like rushing back immediately to the building to try and save his family. Essentially, you know, trying to getting into the building himself. He's voluntarily making himself the hero here. Uh, yeah. As for the action scenes, well, imagine I was gonna compare them to the Taken sequels, but in terms of like Olivier Megaton shaky cam, it's slightly more on par with Last Days of American Crime. This film is infinitely superior to that film, by the way. Um, it's just kind of shaky cam and quick cuts. Definitely not to the extent of Taken 3 jumping the fence, but yeah, it's slightly present, but it does kind of feel disappointing because how hard they were aiming for that 12 rating. When they could have gone for a proper violent, Die Hard type action film, and as a result, all the action just feels kind of fake. Like when Will makes the jump that I'm sure you've seen in like all the trailers, it doesn't feel real. Or any moments when the family are like caught in the fire, it doesn't feel real. It just feels like these actors have been placed in front of a green screen and you know essentially told to act like there's a fire around them. Well, speaking of fire, it's established that Will's son has asthma. It's movie asthma though, and basically it seems to just kind of appear and disappear, like whenever the plot needs it to. Like at least with like in Cobra Kai, for instance, I'm going to make this comparison because it's established early on in the series that Miguel Diaz has asthma, and then it's just kind of miraculously cured by Johnny throwing it at the wall and saying the words "not anymore," and then he never has asthma again. At least that was consistent. This isn't, and it kind of drains like any suspense from those scenes because and because it kind of makes you think, hold on, didn't he literally just have a wasn't he literally just like coughing and struggling to breathe just there, and he's instantly breathing normally again? Like, it's, oh, and the villains, they kind of sucked as well. The main villain just kind of feels like he's he essentially just feels like a henchman, and his motivations basically the whole reason for setting the building on fire is because he wanted a hard drive.
Bullshit.
I know. And in terms of villains, he he's definitely they're trying to make him like this Hans Gruber type, but Hans Gruber had motivations, like he had motivations tied directly to the Nakatomi Plaza, which were established, early on. And Hans Gruber was ruthless, like as shown by how he kills, the owner of of Nakatomi. Like, you know, he just, you know, he just killed without showing any remorse. But the villain here he just lacks that because he doesn't feel like a figure of authority, and when his death feels kind of similar to Hans Gruber. When Hans Gruber falls from the Nakatomi Plaza, they do a similar thing with this villain, but because of how tamed like everything else has been and the obviously noticeable green screen of that scene, it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel very tense. Oh, and you know, they set up this high stakes, well, should be normally be high stakes situation. Seems like it should be very difficult to solve. It's instantly solved by switching the building's systems off and on again.
Bullshit.
I wish I were joking. Yeah, overall, it's not a great action film. The director of it is, he made Central Intelligence, and I'm pretty sure he made Dodgeball as well, I think. Either way, his background is in comedy, and it shows. Because you can tell through the way that you can tell he has inexperience directing a proper serious action film, from like the way that the action is handled and just how fake it all feels. Like you can tell he's trying to play it very straight, but you can tell he's better suited doing comedy. Like if you want to see this guy doing a good film, watch Central Intelligence, which also has Dwayne Johnson. It's a fun watch. Yeah. What I can say I enjoyed about the film was that the actual Pearl building itself looked beautiful. Like imagine the architect behind this got quite the pay rise. And see, and there's an attempt at making uh, an entertaining action film. It didn't really work in my opinion, but I can at least see that the filmmakers had an idea and they wanted to attempt it. And the concept is pretty good, but alas, the film as a whole just felt kind of naff. It felt like a kind of naff Chinese friendly version of Die Hard. In fact, it's not even just Die Hard. The take from there's one scene that directly mirrors the Burj Khalifa scene from Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. It wasn't great. I don't think I'll remember it after this viewing, but I mean, if you want to watch it, it's it's an okay enough diversion for a couple hours. So those are my thoughts on Skyscraper. Let me know down in the comments. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? And since this film is taking direct inspiration from Die Hard, do you think Die Hard's a Christmas film? The correct answer is yes. Yeah. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.